to say, look, his complaint department is headed by that new lady. What's her name?
Genesis.
Aita. Aida. Oh, Aida. Aida Bag of Dicks. Aida Bag of Dicks. That's her name.
Y'all ain't right.
So,
Y'all ain't
Oh, we
right,
got
man.
Walmart.
Y'all talking trash.
Imagine someone passed you a bag of dicks. What is that?
The airports can be stressful.
All right, we are
Swamp
definitely
Crotch.
okay.
that sounds like something soap can cure.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got here, man. Because we are on live. I don't know if y'all know it.
We're already live.
Right now?
Okay.
No, we're on a live. It's not the one that I initially set up. It reconnected to something.
Okay.
I think.
So we're doing something. All right, cool.
Let me double
that's
check.
fair.
I got to
going
double
on.
check here.
Hatchback
It
says we're
sounds
live.
like
It says
an
we're
insult, yo.
Yeah, it says
It
we're live.
does.
Never mind. My headphones. All right. No music today.
Walmart car insurance? Or the Walmart of car?
All right. Well, we're going to get right into the problem here because this was the first story. And like I said, normally we have music and our disclaimer and all that, but nothing's working right now. So that's fine. But I wanted to give a warning to all the travelers that apparently Swamp Crotch has been setting off the TSA scanner.
How do you fix that?
I guess you got to keep it clean and fresh down there.
Oh, so it's the actual smell?
I think it's a mixture of scents and heat.
Look, I'm gonna tell you like this.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like anything that soap, baby powder, and maybe a couple of squats every now and again couldn't fix. Because if your thighs meet, your meat heats. I'm just telling you right now.
Well, the
Well,
real
hold
question
on now.
is, what airport is this a problem? Because if you say Atlanta, that makes sense. If you say Texas, that makes sense because the lines are ridiculous. Like New
Are you
York,
saying Atlanta is known for hot crotches?
no, I'm saying Atlanta
Yes,
is
it
known
is.
for excessive weights. Like, here's a perfect example. I have
Among
a
other
trip.
things.
I got a trip coming up on Tuesday, and I'm going to Michigan. Not Michigan. I'm going to Chicago. But in order for me to get to Chicago, I have to go all the way to Atlanta first, and then go to Chicago. Now I was going to get a regular ticket, but the only seats that they had left were back in the back of the plane with the free range chicken. So I said, I will get first class because I can be first off that plane, so I can be first to wait in those ignorant lines or when the trains don't work to get to the other spots.
Right.
Oh, you know
Yeah, we
what?
got
You
it.
know
So
what?
swamp crotch could potentially be an option.
So here's the thing.
Mhm.
You could solve this by just stop being cute for the airport.
Well, it's
Wear the sweats.
you
know what I
know,
mean?
I'm looking at the story now. There's this one lady that has a whole different problem. She has a uterine fibroid that apparently is a problem. I didn't know that they
What
would
that smell like?
Yeah, I don't know. And apparently they thought it was
Oysters in the
yeah,
sun.
she got scanned a bunch of times. They pulled her out the line. And
They saved her life.
yeah, they said the scanners flagged the same spot multiple times, and now they were saying that it was because she had swamp crotch. So,
But
I
where
don't
did
think it
uterine
alerted the
fibroid
drug
come
law.
from?
it was in earlier in the story. So she was basically saying she didn't know why they were tripping because she didn't have any piercings. The only thing she had was the uterine fibroid. I don't think it actually had anything to do with the problem. She was just saying she didn't have nothing on her, and the only thing that she could have was that.
All right. So
Yes.
these scanners look for solid items. So when has sweat become a solid item?
Here we go.
The waves bouncing off
Wait
the
a
water.
second. Wait a second now. I got a doctor. There's a doctor that describes it here for us. Swamp crotch.
Oh, I read that. That's why I said that.
Swamp
Yeah.
crotch is a term to describe excessive sweating in the groin area. It tends to be very common in summer months when temperatures are higher. Yeah, crotch is hot. And there's heat signatures that they're looking for.
The crotch is hot. The crotch is hot.
Exactly.
The crotch is hot.
And why can't swamp crotch, or why can swamp crotch set off airport scanners, is because it has to do with millimeter wave technology and how like you said, it bounces off of water. So because we can't have so many liquids anymore, apparently sweat is a liquid, and too much of it, things start bouncing off, and you get swamp crotch. I didn't know you guys didn't know about this.
This is
Abolish the
disgusting.
TSA and just let shit work out.
Now,
That's all I'm saying. Fuck
here's
this shit.
the thing. Like, how many times do you run the scanner past the person before you make the decision that the swamp crotch is the problem? Or do you strip them down for the swamp crotch?
Also, who
Okay.
says that to someone? Like they're trying to get on their flight and they're obviously frantic, and you say that to them? Like that's so terrible.
Well, it
As
is
the,
terrible.
as-
It's terrible to have a swampy crotch, too.
Yeah.
But that seems like
Negative.
a hygiene issue and maybe a weight issue. But what I'm going to say is, as the darkest person on this panel, I have not been able to go through any kind of screening like everybody else does. I always get the second check, no matter what, forever.
I'm random
that
as
happens.
well.
Yeah, my name is Lee Random because I'm searched randomly.
I got
Right.
randomly searched recently, but it was just because I was heading to the D.C. area and there was just heightened security because they were scared somebody was going to take a shot at Trump, so they worried. So
I
they
think
would,
the thing that pisses me off the most about it is the fact that I'm always in the TSA pre-check line. Like, I'm there on behalf of Uncle Sam on the back
So they
of
double
that
check you
ID.
first.
oh yeah, can't trust
Yeah, like
you.
I bought this, and I have the new what's it called, that circle thing? Oh man, clear. I even have a clear pack.
Jordans?
So they have to look at my face. I don't even have to show my ID to get up there, and they look at the camera, and then I'm scanned through, and I'm golden. And then they say,
Right.
you've been asked to be one of the randoms. And I'm like, but why?
That's why I would
now?
never pay. I would never pay for pre because the fact is that they will never, ever, ever let me walk through. It never. I will abide by every regulation. Like I literally go to the airport with a shopping bag with me so I can put everything in my pockets in the bag. I'm the most efficient person.
Have you seen March
TSA.
for Death, man?
Yeah, but what I'm
You
trying
look
to
like every character in that movie except for Screwface, bro.
that's racist.
Well, guys, I just wanted to give everybody, because people have been traveling for the 4th of July weekend, and I just wanted to give everybody a nice travel
Especially
heads up
cyber citizens.
to put some baby powder on it. Okay?
They gonna need more than baby powder for whatever was going on.
You know
Second
what's
off,
weird about
ice
this?
pack. They need an ice pack.
That's a
I
medical
think this
issue.
is going to be
yo.
a great marketing ploy for one of these like deodorant companies. They could like call it like "Get Off My Swamp" or something like that.
Yeah, get out of the swamp.
Oh, you know
there
what?
you go.
You know what?
There you go.
Please. Oh, here's the thing. Maybe they could do like tampons outside the labia, in the
Oh
thigh.
my God, that's
to
called a
soak up any-
maxi pad.
Right.
No, tampon. Just the barrels like tampons outside the labia.
Oh
in,
my
in the,
God.
right in the crotch
Oh my
labia
God.
area, and that'll absorb everything.
And you wonder why we get banned off of TikTok.
Yeah, like what?
Oh no, I'm telling you a real product that could work. And watch
For
in 2 years
who?
somebody does that.
For
Watch
people
in 2 years
suffering
somebody
from
does that.
swamp crotch, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, who else?
Right. I'm trying to address the
Terrible.
issues here. What's we doing?
These are the hard-hitting issues that really hit home. you
Yeah,
know?
man. Oh, man. Oh,
Trying to come
okay.
up with solutions.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
Who brings up a problem without a solution? By the
Right.
way, cheers.
Yeah, if you bring up a problem without a solution, that's just nagging. And I'll never be a nagger.
Nope.
Can I
There's
understand?
never been a
what
nag.
is-
No naggers here.
What- Someone define
No
for me. What is
naggers.
innocuous? Why are they
Innocuous?
using that word?
That means
What is
it's
that?
nasty. I
It means
think.
benign. It means benign. Innocuous
Nasty.
means no. Innocuous means it is not. Is benign. Is not something that's infectious or something to be afraid of. Innocuous
swamp
means
crotch?
Oh,
I'm
I
very
didn't know what
swampy,
that was.
no. The word
rashy.
innocuous.
That's a rash in a swamp. I'm afraid. I don't want none of that. They're setting off them alarms. You know what? They should be a scanner for nasty crotch.
I don't never
I'm
want to
about
be
to
in a
start calling
position.
somebody like if I don't like somebody, I'd be like, "You innocuous little like." you
It's
know what I'm saying?
innocuous.
Innocuous.
I don't want to be in a position where something itches so good. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
disgusting.
That
Start
means
ripping the
it's bad.
skin off. You're ripping the skin off.
Right.
Enough.
Yeah, I got chicken pox scars because of that shit. 'cause
Right.
Nope. No.
Damn, this really itches good.
So good. I'm gonna scratch through this sock they put on my hand.
Pass me the
See, they said-
sandpaper, Pentecost.
External feminine hygiene products, so that tampon outside would not work.
I'm just saying, if you got swamp crotch in the general area,
And it's still gonna
Okay.
light them detectors right on up.
Yeah. They're going to be like, you got
Look,
something
but it
down
got-
there. You got something
that's
down
true.
there.
That's true. That's true. That's
Something's
true.
in
And it
there.
says
And not-
folds
and not-
of flesh.
and
Why
not
do they
every
say it
woman
like
is
that?
blessed
Why don't they
with
just say,
enough
Fat
like-
people. They didn't want to say
protrusion.
fat
They
people.
could have just said like rolls or something.
No,
Like it's a
folds
better
of
way than
flesh.
folds of flesh.
No,
Listen,
it's
y'all
not
good?
even just rolls. It's swamp
folds.
crotch. They didn't talk
The
about
fold.
the upper apron as the big
excessive
call it.
skin. Like I just feel like there's
Well,
ways
what
to
if you
say.
what if
like,
you lose a bunch of weight, like on one of them, you get the lipo or whatever done, and you got all this extra.
before you walk through the scanner, lift your folds of flesh and make sure that
No, because
I'm
no,
gonna
when you
go
go
the
to the
next
scanner,
thing.
you got to give it up to the Illuminati. It's the rock.
no, literally.
You got to do that every time. Every
No
time.
shoes,
All right.
no this, no that.
Y'all is just.
Yeah, I think Jay-Z got a piece of TSA, man.
You think Jay-Z got a.
He takes
You gotta
pictures
do
when
that
we're
shit
in
every
there.
time, yo.
That's where that
Right.
comes from. He takes pictures. He's like, who's doing it the best? He's like, who's most dedicated?
Right.
And then he recruits them.
He's looking for his new
Obviously.
artist, y'all.
Well, speaking of new orders, guys, since we're talking about stanky things, I found a funny
Oh,
story
Lord.
that you might get a little humor out of. You all know who LL Cool J is, right? Yeah, of
Yes.
course, right? LL
In
Cool J
theory.
was recent. You said in theory? What? Hold up
Yes,
now.
because I've heard him.
Blasphemy! No, I'm sorry. Sorry. What were you saying?
I mean, it depends on what era we're talking about. Because right now, LL is in his corny era, but before,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
My
The
grandfather
fact,
used to
no,
quote
okay,
him.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you the most,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the most gangster
Yeah.
shit that LL has ever done
What is that?
was do a Gap commercial with a FUBU hat on.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty
That was
crazy.
the most gangster. That was the
was
most
pretty crazy.
gangster shit I've ever seen in my life.
Speaking
And
of
got
LL
paid for
Cool
it.
J, anyone watching this show that knows LL Cool J knows his trademark thing is licking his lips. Well, he was on an episode of TRL back in the day, and this was way past his prime. And he's standing next to this girl the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how he has to talk so tough, all hard all the time.
All the
Like,
time.
yeah, you know what I'm
Overdo it.
saying? Like,
Overdo it.
yo, when I first got the record. And so he's licking his lips and talking like that. And the girl interviewing says, why do you keep licking your lips like that? Is there something wrong? He got uncomfortable. Because what can you say in that moment?
But
Well,
here's
this has
here's
been
the-
your thing your whole life.
the problem is when you lick your lips more than necessary,
Mhm.
it's a diminishing return. Now you just have stank mouth.
Finishing
Stank.
your
Lift
turn.
the protection.
let me-
mouth and chapter.
Let me bring y'all that actual story here.
Oh,
LL
yeah,
Cool
sorry.
J and Jasmine Sullivan decided to pull out of a Philly show because there's trash everywhere because the trash people are on strike. So they decided to not go to Philly to perform because of the trash. So I wanted
You
y'all
should
to
have
see.
never went there to begin with.
Well, no, let's let LL discuss because, Todd James, as his name would be, would like to say
Yeah.
his piece. Okay?
the mama said knock him out.
Yeah. Somebody's mama
We
said it.
continue to follow the day's breaking news right now on CBS News Philadelphia.
Mama said
at
go
6.
pull
A
out.
sour note for tonight's big Wawa Welcome America concert. Both headliners canceled, refusing to cross the picket line as the strike by thousands of city workers stretches into its 4th day. The show will go on tonight, but without its two biggest stars. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington. Philly's
Dang,
own
y'all
Jasmine
really-
Are you sure they're not
Sullivan
having
joined
solidarity
LL
with?
Cool J in
Wait, pause
canceling
it real
tonight's-
quick.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pause? Can you make sure that they don't have a statement saying that they're not in
Well,
solidarity?
I kind of
with the
feel like you might have a point here because his thing says LL announced he won't cross a picket line amid the ongoing strike.
Damn right.
So he might be like, I'm not gonna go do a performance when there's people trying to get something done. I don't know if it's for
This-
Wawa though. Hold on now.
But the whole thing is that he wants to be portrayed as the man of the people, even though he hasn't been for a very long time.
Well, here's
Why
his,
just need to go out there and give him some free sandwiches? They be all right.
well, let's let this stupid
everybody's got
play
their price
here.
limit. Everybody's got their price limit. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go do it. I don't know.
CSI got him to take his hat off. He CSI, whatever, New Orleans, Upper Botswana, whatever the fuck CSI he's doing right now.
Yeah,
they got him.
I didn't even know they was on strike.
Yeah, well, apparently
y'all.
they are in Philly. So this
Maybe
is
he didn't want to be associated with that strike.
Well, let's see. Let's see.
At 11.
I never, ever, ever want to disappoint my fans. And especially in Philadelphia, y'all mean too much to me. But there's absolutely no way that I could perform, cross a picket line.
One of the headliners for tomorrow's
Yeah,
Wawa
they cutting
Welcome
it a certain
America
way.
concert
They
on the
just
Ben
didn't
Franklin
even finish
Parkway
what
is
he's
saying
saying.
he
Yeah.
can't
Like,
do
what we
it.
talking about?
LL Cool J,
Well, but
as
that's
you
the
just
important
heard,
part.
says he will not cross a picket line to get to the stage.
What's
he
that
will,
mean?
though, be in town, and he also said if a deal is reached, his part of the show will go on.
Okay, there you go. He's in
And tonight,
solidarity.
A deal.
workers are
Yeah, he's
digging
in solidarity.
on their demands as the mayor defends the city's latest offer. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington. It's day 3.
All right, so I'm just going to pause there. We
heard.
We got what we need. We got what we need. LL Cool J was not performing unless they struck a deal with them workers.
That's why I asked for that. That's why I asked to find out.
Good.
Good job. Because I was like, the trash.
That's why the bullshit must be purged. Because they tried to make it seem like LL was too good to be in the area because there's trash all over the place. There was a couple of stories about this because apparently it stinks a lot right now because the trash hasn't been picked up in weeks. And so there's like piles of trash all over the place. So they're trying to make it seem like he was saying he was too good for that.
Before you continue down that road, look at the last names of the people who wrote those stories and find out where they worked before. And you'll see why those stories were written.
Okay. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why I said we had to listen to it because I got the story.
Which rabbit hole are we walking down today, Pentagon?
Well, no, I think we're good on this one. I think we found the information we needed. We purged the bullshit of it. Yeah, that's the bullshit. They want us to think LL's turning his back on the people, and really LL is in solidarity with the people. So that's, whatever.
This definitely proves my point of the media. Like what I said last week when we were having network issues, the lie will travel around the world twice before the truth gets up and puts its shoes on.
That is true.
The reason why you got the wrong thing first is because that is the salacious, silly shit. The thing is that we have lost as a society in general, not everybody, but in general, when we average the whole population, we have lost our media literacy. We have stopped questioning why we are being told a certain thing. We have stopped going and researching the places that they tell us that they tell us not to look, that tell us the truth, places that can get sued for printing wrong information. That's not websites. Places that can get sued for printing wrong information. We need to go and talk to them and see what they're doing. The thing is that everybody is going off vibes and feels, and that's why we have this big booty plug bill.
Big booty. Okay.
Anyway, I land my plane, nigga.
We're gonna get to the booty. We're gonna get to the booty plug-in in a little bit. Okay. All right. So I was gonna take y'all through another transition here, but let me pause something real quick.
That's illegal. Isn't that illegal? The new bill.
Not if the taxpayers aren't paying for it. But
It's always somebody in Florida you pull up.
look, it's this. I got a thread going called WTF, and the acronym is that's Florida. So I get these clips.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, and then somebody said, "Man, what the hell was that, man?" Well, that's Florida. You know,
I love that.
That's what it is.
I love that.
So that's what we.
I love that. That's fucking awesome. That's really awesome. I love
Florida.
that.
So for whatever reason, yes, we're back in Florida. This is a fresh one. A gentleman got into a car chase, and you guys, I'm not gonna play this whole thing. I'm gonna play it kind of fast. But you just watch this. I saw the first 2 minutes. I said, they
We
got
got
to
a
see
small 23-minute clip here.
Okay.
Just 23 minutes of your time. Just jump ahead.
Get on the ground.
That was one of the good part is.
Not
Show me
that
your
far.
hands.
All right, there we go. That's good. That's a good
Hold
start.
on, hold
right
on.
there.
We're already arrested. We just started
No.
driving.
So this is quick. This is quick. He pulls him up in this thing.
That's how life goes.
Yeah, it's fast. It's fast and it happens. So let's do it. All right. So he's pulling him over. Bring the speed up a little bit.
They're ramming my patrol car. Start me a car. Fairway Circle and Silver Pass. I got someone ramming my patrol car.
Son of a bitch.
Get out the car! Give me your, show me your hands! Show me your hands! Get out the car, show me your hands! Get out the car, show me your hands right now!
I don't think he's gonna do it.
Sheriff's office!
Does anybody die in this clip?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Get out the car! Get out the car!
Seriously,
Get out
dog.
the car!
Nope.
Like,
Get out the car!
I
You
wouldn't
you
have
show us
shown it.
pain clips all the time.
I wouldn't have done it if it was
Get
gonna
out
be
the
that.
car!
Time to go.
Going into the apartment complex.
6403 man, they just tried to ram me.
Dooby-dooby-doo.
We're singing in the
Hey, he just went through a
rain.
fence. He's headed out the Silver Road.
I'm following.
Went through a fence.
Silver four-door made a left on Silver Road.
See, this is what happens
that
when
engine
freedom
sounds
is
good, though. That
way
engine.
too wild.
Yeah.
No, actually that engine sounds actually
on that.
It should have a little more
On
purple
that.
to it.
Right.
Oh.
I do believe he was trying to run me over at one point, Marion.
I believe so
He
too.
wasn't.
Sir.
Oh,
Yo.
fuck out of
Right
here,
on the Silver
nigga.
Road,
Like,
we're going
stop
northbound
that.
towards Maricamp.
Yo. Don't even know, man. No! Not with the baby.
Yeah, there's a baby.
Purge.
70 miles an hour. About to come
That
out.
kind of sounds like the Hemi in the
Yeah.
in the Durango, right?
Yeah. with her.
Why risk this many people's lives for this?
You know, well, that's Florida, man. I mean,
No, when you're being in the state, it's a whole thing about individual liberties. But when you're being
God,
taught
the baby!
that when you're being taught that your liberties are more than everybody else, this is
Oh my
what
gosh.
happens.
Oh my gosh.
Call it! Get on the ground or I'm going to chase you!
he said, I'm going to chase you.
Get on the ground!
No, he said, I'm going to tase you. He said, I'm going to tase
Well,
you.
at least he said that.
White
Yeah.
beanie hat, gray shorts, black shirt, camo pants. Get on the ground! There's a K9 over there waiting on you!
Really?
Not they waiting.
Get on your face!
Can you imagine?
Put the fucking hands on your back!
You know, I don't understand any of
Put your hands
this.
on your run me over again! We don't do that
I
in Marion
do.
County.
I understand every part of it.
All right, now, let
I
me just...
never seen someone act like you!
I've never seen nobody act like you.
You're talking to him like that's like his nephew, bro. Like,
Damn it! Wait till I tell your mama.
Where is the baby?
In the car.
This is crazy.
Now, see, here's the hit though. Here's the hit though. The officer did not know there was a baby in that car.
Right.
Neither did the driver.
No,
Right,
no,
he
I think the
didn't say
driver
nothing.
knew. The driver didn't care. But that Corvette sounded good though. You heard that?
I don't have anything. It's a ladder.
All right, let me move it up a little bit here.
What else you want to show us in this video? We already know.
Yeah, what is
No,
this? What is
I
the
want
point
to
of
know
this?
that the child is okay.
Yeah, there was a baby in the car.
I didn't see him, no.
All right, get to that. Because I have something I got to tell you.
I think we're past it.
They don't even care.
He pushed the car into me almost.
No, Oh, here we go.
Are we paying attention? Are we paying attention to the chat around?
Here we go.
What's going on?
Yeah, he's bringing the baby out, man. Somebody just brought the baby.
Is my car damaged? Thank you.
So hopefully you have your keys.
I do. I don't see any damage on my car, which is shocking.
All right, well, nonetheless, there was a baby in the damn car. But the part where there was a baby.
Yo, let's take care of housekeeping. Attend to the chat.
I did. I spoke to IMZ.
Z is the only one in the chat because we had to change the stream. So we probably got totally capped on that. But it's all good. You use it for the shorts.
Anyway, all right. I have a thing to tell you. I want to there's a challenge for you. I would like you for the next 3 weeks to come up with videos like this that feature white people.
Other than the police?
No, the same exact type of shit.
Running
from the police, all that kind of shit. I want you to give me those videos next week and the week after and the week after that feature white people running.
You want me to find specifically videos of the police chasing after white people. Is that correct?
It does seem kind of a bad look that we keep showcasing our own people looking like assholes.
Well, that's Florida.
That's all that messes up in Florida is black folks.
Oh, that's the ones that run from the police.
Florida.
Nah, man, forget that. Remember AJ?
Why?
The guy that jumped off the boat?
That you're,
Remember the guy that jumped off the boat? He was white.
Wait. Back it up. Hold up. What I'm trying to say is,
I'm screaming in the mic, just cutting you out.
You telling me to forget that you're black in Florida?
I don't forget nothing. What I'm saying is,
what I'm trying to tell you is like, give me the same shit. I don't want to be stepping, fetching, samboing, and showing us always getting locked up.
Wait, this wasn't about that, though. It was the craziness of the baby being in the car. I wouldn't have cared if it was a white or black person.
Do you realize that last week there was a whole blast about a body cam video of this dude who looked like a fucking failed white rapper with cornrows who had a 13-year-old in his trunk who was sex trafficking.
Well, see, I can't cover shit like that on here, though.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that the shit is out there, but we keep on talking about us doing the wrong thing.
Well, no, I got hella police stuff, man, but a lot of this is too damn sensitive. Like even what you just talked about.
But we have to.
If you want me to find some white boys running and getting tased, I got a whole plethora of the shit. But they don't
do that more often.
They don't like that.
Then do that.
That's why I don't show nobody getting shot. There's a reason why I never show anybody getting shot.
We should bring back the airport people because they love to do that.
Yeah, the airport crash outs are fun. But that's always the last one was not black. The last airport crash out wasn't black. That was a white girl.
I know. That's why I said that because
you heard no complaints. And you heard no complaints from me on that one. You heard no complaints from me on that one.
I don't think you should complain on this one. The craziness was about the baby. It wasn't about the color of the person. I wasn't thinking all that. I'm sorry.
Surprised
it's cumulative. It's cumulative, sir. It's cumulative, is what I'm talking about. Okay. We need to fix our ratio.
All right. So you want me to bring on some white people doing some stuff? I can do it.
Yes, sir.
You want to bring on? I bring on a couple.
I challenge you
because Megan needs to see themselves.
With her son. I mean, I've spread it around a little bit, but I mean, if it's become a bit much for you, I got it. You don't like to see these niggas doing stuff.
For the shows that I do on the weekend, for the shows that I do, the ratio's off. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense. Unfortunately, the ratio is off as to what comes down the timeline too. So I know there's body cam of a lot of stuff, but the stuff that actually makes it to the internet that I end up with, I'm not getting it directly from the police department.
This is my point. That's my actual root point. Is because the things that make us melanated people look bad are further propagated than anybody else. This is what I'm trying to. Is what I'm trying to express.
But I can find white people doing stuff. I mean, if that's what you want me to do, I have no issue with doing that. Like,
don't talk about it, be about it. I'm good. Let's go.
The smoke show is available for all. You know,
just do it.
But a lot of their crimes be too sensitive. That's what I'm trying to say. The stuff they be doing, like the teacher that had the kid, you know what I'm talking about. I can't even talk about it. I got flagged for that video. That was a Caucasian lady. That was a week and a half ago.
Let's not be scared. Let's just figure out how to talk about it and show it.
That really says a lot.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It does, don't it? Mm-hmm. Can't talk about their shit, right? No problem. No problems.
Let's find a way
this.
to talk about it. This is what I'm trying to say.
I don't disagree that we should find a way to talk about it, because I understand his frustration, because I've been in several situations where all I hear is the type of stuff that goes on in these videos that you play. And my response normally is something along the lines, well, we can't talk about the stuff y'all do. But I also believe that they don't see it enough to understand what really is going on. So all they see is this crap we're watching right now.
See, I want to express two separate points. One is I'm a first generation American, and a lot of the things that people are taking lightly actually affect me. Like, it's crazy. The second thing is that all of the people I grew up with are lighter than me. And I have heard, when we go to the same parties, the same things, I've heard them try to turn the person that either I brought or I came with against me because I'm the darker party.
What?
I've heard it. I know this happens.
I know this happened with me.
No, I'm not saying that you ever turned. I'm saying that they tried to convince you to turn.
Who did?
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not doing that on the internet, bro.
Who is saying?
I'm not doing that on the internet.
But what I'm trying to say, through the door with Bravo, and I walk out them doors with Bravo since 9th grade.
Every time, because Bricks is the real one. But what I'm trying to say is that
I wish a nigga would do some shit.
What I am trying to say is this: affinity and loyalty is very important. It's easy to break, but hard to build. Do not cast asunder a thing that you will need later, because it will take way longer for you to build it back to the point where you need it when you fucking fucked it up. Okay?
Message.
Hope we got it. All right, well, I promise you, Bravo, I will bring you, I will put some cream in this coffee. Okay?
Let's diversify.
I will diversify the shit out of this. We will be the channel that does it then. We'll be the ones that'll just do it. So,
I'm not doing this shit for money. I'm doing this shit for a message.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, I ain't got a problem with that. Like I said, I got plenty of it. It's just a lot of they shit be too heinous. That's what I'm trying to say. A lot of they stuff that come on the news in Florida. Oh my God.
I'm telling you that, we are representing 80% of the crimes on media, but we do 30% of the crimes, while 70% of the crimes are perpetrated by Caucasians. Stop it.
Well, I'm not saying
Stop
that.
the cap.
I'm not capping nothing. I'm telling you, the shit they be doing that comes on the news be too heinous for YouTube. You know, I'll be battling with these YouTube people every week about little shit we say.
But you already told me why you see it. That's that comes.
Well, using that word alone, the one you just used, is enough to get us a hit tonight.
What, heinous?
I think. No. It was a word that starts with C. I think you can say YT now, and you can't even say. You have to say BLK. Like,
you can't say saltine anymore.
Man, see, this is the shit I be talking. That's probably why we got.
This is why your show was. This is why the show was birthed. But now the irony of it is we have to abide by the rules.
Say melanin challenged.
That don't sound authentic.
I just normally say people that ain't that close to the sun.
I say Caucasoid.
Okay.
Well, even that. I mean, you can't even use the term Negroid anymore. That's another one.
It's the prefix that's killing you, and I can't even say that. That's unaliving you. Like, I don't even understand that.
Freaking
like, we're all speaking in code now. Like,
because of TikTok. because TikTok is
No,
the one,
YouTube is very much the same,
they're
bro.
very
but they're
similar.
following because they're doing catch and follow up because TikTok has all the money right now for the shorts. That's what they're doing. The only reason they're doing that is because they saw it over there. And the reason why TikTok is doing that is because they want to make very palatable poison for US and European markets.
Do you have any idea what it feels like to be 48 years old and I'm listening to someone talk and they're in the middle of a discussion and they say something along the lines of this? There were 3 assailants yesterday that jumped out of their cars with pew-pews. Like, get
what I'm trying to tell you is like if you know the difference between TikTok and Douyin, you'll figure this out.
I know the difference, but I've only been that's not is that the app I was on? I think it was like a red one or something.
Douyin is TikTok, but Douyin is where it originated, and that's the Chinese only.
Yeah, but they don't
TikTok.
say nothing on that one. You can't say nothing on that
Yeah,
one.
but
Exactly.
you know what?
Talking
So
about,
that's-
in my book, TikTok was
That's my
musical.
point.
I don't know what y'all. We was lip syncing and stuff, and
It
then next
started
thing you know,
there.
they got bought by TikTok, and I was like, okay, I guess
That
we're
wa-
over here now.
That was a data grab. That was a data
Yeah.
grab.
But hold on,
Yeah.
wait a minute. I'm glad that you brought up TikTok because wasn't it a time this year where it was like, yeah, I don't know whether we're going to have TikTok or not. Like, I'm going to give y'all some time. And then all of a sudden, now we got it. And all that man said on that TV show was, yes, they're worth a lot of money. We could probably, maybe take 50%.
No, I mean,
And now you can't talk about absolutely anything without the threat of getting canceled, especially if you talk about
No,
people up
that
high.
existed before. That existed before.
I understand that
No,
it
it wasn't
existed,
right. It wasn't
but
that
understand this. It is not as bad as it is now, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm on that thing like almost every night, listening to people talk about left and right. And I'm telling you, it's got down to schmatzy, unalive, pew-pews, freaking, I'm going to flom that place with explosions and like, you can't say shit anymore, bro.
shit. But you know what I can
Nothing.
say? I can say special shouts to everybody that's jumping in the chat right now. We have kind
There
of
you go.
took
There you
a
go.
different shot. We took a different turn then, but shouts to Ascending Phoenix for stopping in, IMZ and everybody catching the live. We got messed up at first, so I know a lot of people aren't going to catch
you
this
can drop
one.
the share now.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I'm going to drop the share.
My
and go to
question
my
is,
next,
did they get the money, yo?
from
Who's
what?
really
No, they're about
running
to
the
get the-
American side now? Because I guarantee you,
It's
our
not about
president
money.
did
It's
not
not
let
about
up
money.
off that gas when it came to how much he could make off of TikTok, bro.
No, it's not about money. It's about control of the messages. Because think about it. I want you to stop. I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to understand what I'm about to say. We have gone from Cambridge Analytica to TikTok. Connected. Go ahead.
But that doesn't help me right now because I don't know what the fuck that means. Explain it. I mean, I have to wait till after the show.
Cambridge Analytica actually swung the election in Trump's favor when they had a plugin and got all the data of
Oh yeah, I did hear
Facebook
about that.
shit. Yeah,
Right.
and that swung the entire election.
Yo,
right?
it was bad though. Like in some Democratic cities, like she didn't get any votes. Like y'all could have at
But
least
this-
gave her
but-
some.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Like people are so dependent on social media instead of media literacy that we are fucked. We're fucked, bro. You know
And
what I
you're
mean?
right.
And that's
You're
what
right.
I'm trying to say. And this is why I give our gracious host, I give him shit when he doesn't look at shit before we present it. Because I'm like, yo, we need to have media literacy, which is why when we present something, I will ask a question like, this is how we dive deeper. You know what I mean?
But
And
the
I
whole
am so
point.
grateful to be part. But no, yeah, my whole thing is I'm very grateful to be a part of this cipher because he's allowing me to speak sense to the masses because he's reached more people than I could ever reach on my own. And I am very truly and grateful for that. But we need to skew that into the realm of common fucking sense. You know what I mean? We need to.
Yes, we need some
Well,
of
then you're
that.
not gonna like the next story at all, because this one is definitely not no common
Not
sense in
common
this
and
next
not
one.
sensical.
Yeah, I got to bring it to you, though, because it was big news that Joey Chestnut is back. If you guys don't know who Joey Chestnut is, I'm about to let you.
I don't.
Show you.
No,
You
I
don't know
don't.
who
Who's that?
I don't know who that is.
Who that? Who that? Who that? Do?
We're going to
Right.
Hold on. Let me show you.
Playing
Let me
the
show
Nutcracker.
you. Let me show you who the Chestnut of Joey is. Okay. Joey Chestnut is a competitive eater. Okay? Nothing more American
that
than
guy.
feeding
Yes,
your
that
face
guy.
until
Yeah.
you throw up somewhere.
Yo, this is classic. We just finished talking about feeding these people
Yes.
intellect, and the next story is about Joey Chestnut.
Well, the
eating
point,
hot
see, you're
dogs.
missing
Eating the worst cuts of meat.
You're missing
possible.
it. It's our opportunity to educate them on the stupidity of this practice. That's why it's here. It's not here to
Okay.
say, hey,
No, it's-
everybody, let's go eat a fucking hot dog 1,000 times in a minute.
No, I get that, but it was
Yeah.
just classic time.
Yeah, it's good. That's what the show is. That's what the show is. Classic.
This is a celebration of excess.
Yeah.
America.
So let's see what they got to say here about
This
Joey.
is why we're kicking immigrants out, so we can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America, fuck it.
So all the people we like can eat all hot dogs.
Yeah.
They got 10 minutes.
Age is just a number, and you know what? I agree, Jeremy. Look,
Oh, they got a black guy over there.
I was just about to say, why is he up there?
Well, he likes
They got a
taking
few of
them
them.
glizzies to the
Because
face.
there's if there's something that involves cash, you can't blame a black guy for trying to get it.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Rich, the fact that, you know, we've got so many eaters.
This is the modern day Squid Games.
This is disgusting, actually.
Hot dogs
Actually-
just aren't that good, yeah.
They actually might be eating squid.
Actually, Nathan's dogs are pretty good.
For Pat Bertolini out here in Coney Island.
So
Like I
nonetheless,
just told my fiance I can maybe have one, but two
So who
maybe
won?
too much.
this guy on the right.
Is that Joey?
No, the whole point was this guy won last year, and Joey had won for 16 straight years.
Dang, bro.
And
He
then-
probably been training.
Yeah, he trains all year eating glizzies to the face. So Joey didn't go this one year. This other guy won,
Look at
but
his
now
face.
Joey gets to come back. You know why they took Joey out of it? Because he had sponsors. Because somebody was like paying him to sponsor stuff. Apparently, that's against the rules in competitive eating.
So
Which-
what's on his head?
Well, no, this isn't even Joey. This
That's
is
the
the people.
that's the Boston Brewers.
This is
cap.
some
That's
other
that's
guys.
baseball.
Joey Chestnut is
Oh.
this guy. This guy right here with all the dogs.
Oh, so they took him out.
Yeah, he had a.
So
It was
now
a
this random guy
Netflix.
won.
He went on Netflix. He had some money from that. He did like a reality show for a second, and I guess because he was making money on the side, it disqualified him from actually competing in the eating contest again. So I guess
Why, Sway? It didn't disqualify any
No, they just said
NBA
they were trying to
athlete.
catch
I don't know.
NFL
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand it. But this was like what I didn't really understand was why it was such a big deal. It wasn't like an Olympic athlete was coming out of
Do they
retirement.
gotta eat their bread?
Yeah. They
Did
gotta
he?
eat the
Is
whole
this a
thing.
representation of all of the hot dogs he
Yeah,
ate?
he did like 100, man, in a minute or 10 minutes. I mean,
Can I ask a question real quick?
72. He did 72.
No, all right. I'm gonna ask a question real quick. We are all fighting for the right for a straight white man to eat as much sausages in his face as possible.
Yeah,
Is that
sounds
what we're
progressive.
doing right now?
Yeah, it
American.
sounds progressive. Sounds real progressive to me.
Okay,
Sounds like we're
okay.
thinking
And
ahead.
people are dying right now,
Mm.
and we're worried about how many hot dogs this guy eats.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's
Perfect.
Thank you, Bravo, for making the point that I was making when I said for some reason this was considered big news. It was trending.
Correct.
It was trending at like number 3, Joey Chestnut. And I said, "Who the hell is Joey Chestnut?" And I pulled it up, and it was this.
I have to back
Joey
you on
Jaws
this, Hayes.
Chestnut.
It's
Joey
whoever's
Jaws
betting on
Chestnut.
him. They were probably mad that he wasn't competing anymore.
I actually have to back Hayes on this because one of the things that I brought up in our last broadcast was credible sources.
Right.
Well, this is
a Newsweek
This
article.
is Newsweek. Yeah, they thought it was important. So it's not just.
Address a chat. Ascending Phoenix is saying some good shit.
Oh yeah, Ascending Phoenix is the shiznit. Let's just start there.
Oh, we're definitely living in idiocracy. We just haven't started watering the damn grass with Mountain Dew yet.
And this is why we show this kind of stuff, because Newsweek found it important enough to make this a top story to the point where it was trending on Google, and that's how I got it.
Yeah.
So I was like, why is this important when we got all this other shit going on?
Glizzy eater.
Yeah, he is a serial glizzy eater. And he missed it.
He puts
his whole job
is putting his whole job is putting long meat in his mouth.
And he seems happy.
Thanks for the assist, Jen.
Along with yeast products.
Yeah, in his mouth.
Because he has to eat the buns.
Yeah.
So it's about long meat and buns. And he's the best at eating long meat and buns. and we're defending.
You gotta be good at something with a hairline like that, yo.
Sorry, I wasn't ready.
JC. Wait. Y'all are missing the parallels. Joey Chestnut, JC.
What, Jesus Christ?
No, that doesn't even make sense.
Don't even.
Tried it.
You already know Jesus Christ is doing that. What's that McConaughey meme was like, burn it down again and flood it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that joint. That's what it is. That's ridiculous. Again. Why does he have like there's a whole story.
Got the world
pages.
record.
Like,
I mean, honestly, at that point when you get the world record, you shouldn't be able to compete. Just go.
You know what? To be totally honest with you, I know all of this. Too. Understandably, all of this is the old pump fake. Mm-hmm. Look something else. Look at this. So you. But at the same time, there is a part of me that does enjoy ignorance in a blissful faction, because
it's called reality TV.
Oh my goodness!
Love Island.
I haven't even done that recently because number one, America's Love Island doesn't even come close to the UK's Love Island. If you watch UK, American Love Island is pissed.
Spain,
but
UK, EU,
Team Huda,
America's does not compare.
Yeah, but my point is this: it's almost like you get to this point where you realize the left will never convince the right will never convince the left. Why don't we talk about serial glizzy eaters just for a little bit?
Right, let's just do that for a second.
After a while, you get to this point, and I don't mean by any stretch, who cares, but I'm tired of being depressed every day.
Yeah.
Finding out you remember that mixtape that used to come out with that mix CD that was like, Evil Empire. Yeah. I'm tired of finding out that I live there.
Right.
Every day.
So this is a breath of fresh air or fresh glizzy.
It's not fresh at all. I know that breath is hot.
Yeah.
My God.
I would hate to be talking to him post.
I'm surprised he hasn't had a heart attack or something, man.
I don't even think I could eat a glizzy without ketchup and mustard, yo. Like just a regular.
They drinking
mind if I say something real quick?
He goes through like 5 toilets.
It's wieners and buns. I'm good.
Right, so here's the thing. The problem is that that's the sentiment my brother in Beats and my brother in Arms, Bricks, said is the exact point.
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all about Prigozhin and the Internet Research Authority in Russia in 1995 or 96. The whole thing is that we're they don't need us to think a certain way. They need us to be tired of thinking.
Right.
Because all they have to do is flood the zone. And then we don't know what to choose. Call everything fake, even their own shit fake. All their job is to do is to fucking flood the zone with disinformation and make you weary, make you tired, and make you uninvolved and not vote, which
we are already weary.
The last election.
That's exactly what happened.
We are already tired. That's why we're in this situation now.
And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, keep your eyes on the goddamn prize. Our old civil rights leaders told us the truth in the beginning. Keep your eyes on the prize. Don't worry about the shiny shit, the flashy shit, the sponsorships. Keep your eyes on the prize. What do you want? You want representation? Don't stop until you get it.
But here's something controversial I'm gonna just say, and I don't know y'all, but I feel like the same people who was saying to keep their eyes on the prize are the same people who gave up.
Well, no, that's because they got old. They got old,
and that's great. But the
no,
problem is,
anymore.
I'm gonna tell you that.
No, hold on. Let her finish. Let her
And
finish.
I'm not talking about directly my family because my family is pretty great and pretty awesome. But there are some families I've met where it's like that doesn't get passed down. Like that same drive that they had, now they're looking at us like, oh, these kids is living lavish. Like enjoy. Right. Like that's why Gen Z, like I'm in Gen Z, is just enjoying and just doing whatever and just going out here and being YNs and like whatever, because it's like that generation before is literally just like, all right, now go enjoy the fruits of my labor, but you don't really have to do much else. That's just what I'm seeing.
Wow.
It's interesting that you. It's interesting that you say that.
You're not wrong.
The reason why I say it's interesting is because I guess mine are doing what you said, and the whole time they're doing that, I'm like, just don't forget who you are.
Yeah,
right.
like Mufasa in the background.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right. Yeah.
Like, and I feel bad for them because I'm like, look, so my colleague, Mr. Bravo, said that he was the most melanated in the room. Imagine how he feels when his children go get into a car and go somewhere.
Yeah.
How he's worried. My children, who are not of Latino descent, they look like they are.
Oh, for sure. Immediately.
Now, the reason why I brought this up is because now they have become the target, and because of the way that they act as far as Gen Z is concerned, they don't even realize they are the target.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Saying something. You're saying something. Well,
May I?
Go ahead, Ed. Then I'm gonna get into our next story since we talk about Target.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. What I will add is that as my brother Arms, my brother in Beats, my brother in Christ, explained about me being the most melanated person in the room. He's true. He's very true in that. The thing is that sucks is that it's easy to talk about a situation when you haven't lived it, because from birth, every room I've walked in, I've been the other or the enemy. No other choice. I've been the other or the enemy. And why I say that is either I'm darker than everybody in the room, or I'm the enemy because I'm smarter than everybody in the room.
That's your fault, you son of a bitch, and you are smart.
All right, so I'm supposed to be dumb?
Oh my God.
That's what they want you to be.
No, hold on. But I do need to speak
I know,
to that.
I'm fucking with
you.
you.
I lived in South Carolina.
I was just fucking with you on that. I was just fucking with you. And yes. Oh, yeah, the culture shock when you came up.
In your defense, You're right.
You're right.
Hey, host, anybody in the chat, I have a question for you. What's the difference between a dark-skinned black man in America and a dark-skinned Haitian man in America? Anybody know?
Right.
No, I don't.
Exactly, and neither do ICE people or ICE officers.
So
when they go and yank somebody, they can say, "Oh, we thought he was Haitian." But where is he? He's in a detention center. What's his name? I don't know.
Yeah, we just thought he was one of Haitians.
This is the problem that I have now. This is the old pump fake. Let's just call them all Haitian now.
Right. You know who falls in that category? You know who falls in that category? Dark-skinned Cubans, dark-skinned Puerto Ricans,
Dark-skinned
dark-skinned Venezuelans,
Dominicans.
Yeah.
So I found it interesting that they were actually out there beefing and putting hands on these ICE officers, and they just started pulling the videos. Like we didn't just see this all morning. But then I thought about it. I was like, why are they going so hard on these Haitians? And I thought, dark skin, Haitian, until somebody opens their mouth, you don't know what they're talking about. Can you prove that you're not Haitian?
Not right away.
Can you prove that? You don't have no ID on you. How do I know you're even American? Wait a minute, dark-skinned guy, you going down there with them too.
Yeah, till we figure
and that's
out
why
who
all
you
these
are.
people talking that damn MAGA shit, bro. You next.
Target, they were targeting melanin, but the whole thing is that the whole MAGA movement was targeting poor people. And I'm not poor. You can't get rid of me. You're gone. You're going to be gone before I am.
Well, guys,
like,
let me bring, because we're about to get to, that's the one after this is that.
Yeah.
Because I got to play that clip. But before we get to that, a new story came down the line from apparently Diddy and Cassie are being sued by a male escort.
I saw that.
And I'm still investigating this, but I'm like, at which point? Next. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not necessarily saying that the lawsuit is 100% true or anything, but TMZ is talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, and this guy's basically saying that he contracted STD from Cassie, and he wants to sue Cassie and Diddy. So even though Diddy's...
Did you wear your rubbers?
Now, here's the real question to me is, if you're a male escort, how could you prove that Cassie was the person that gave you this thing? Aren't you slinging dick?
It ain't even that.
He can't. He's using the sensationalism.
Imagine any type of sex worker not coming with protection. I don't understand this. Like, could you imagine if you hired an escort and just asked her to do it the old-fashioned way? And she would be with it. Well, I mean, this is in every single.
That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening.
Well, condoms only protect against certain things. She could have had crabs, and they can get around and they get you the balls.
This is opportunity. This is opportunity because.
Well, I don't know enough about crabs.
Well, I know that they get around.
I know too much about crabs. I got crabs in Jamaica. Nope. I got crabs in Jamaica. It sucks. Like, I didn't even fuck a bruh. I just got towels of the crabs in this resort in Jamaica. That sucked.
He went to the crab resort.
Exactly. Yeah. We had.
What if they literally look like a bunch of Mr. Krabs? Like,
they kind of do, but they're all white. Yeah, I shaved all my shit off with the medication. All that shit got them going.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I get it. But what the whole thing is that this is somebody who's doing something who's opportunistic. And guess what the opportunity is on?
What?
How many people in the picture have melanin?
Period. Let's just call them Haitian.
And
they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
This is why we need to fix our ratio, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but this was a main story this week because his trial ended this week.
I never heard this story, and I watched the news.
It just came out yesterday.
I watched it today.
It just came out late yesterday, so this is
the guy's like, look, I know I'm not that attractive, but I have sex the best.
Yeah, not at all.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he is.
This is something, you're a fucking male whore. Yes. I don't care about what you have to say.
Well, apparently, hold up, there's a second piece to it where he said that Cassie got pregnant and took away his child with procedure, and apparently he's upset about that too. So he wanted his baby with Cassie.
So here's the thing. With the judgments in the trial, it showed that she did text and say that she's down for the freak-offs, but it did not say that she wanted these things to happen, right? So he can't say that these things were willing without a reasonable doubt.
What did she?
So his whole lawsuit. No. What I'm trying to say is that she can't say all these things happen of her own volition.
I don't know,
of her own will.
This paragraph right here is pretty wild.
He can't say that.
He can't say that she made him participate in hours-long masturbation sessions that would have his things scammed
She would do that, or did he? Who would do that, or did he?
That's what he
said.
She
do
that,
or did he would do?
He said that she made him do it, or at least that's what he's saying. She said. That's the alleged thing that he's saying in this paragraph right here.
Hayes.
I'm just saying that's what the man said.
This is the only account that blames Cassie, and you're trying to give it weight.
No, I'm not trying to give it shit. It's a story that came down the pipe.
Slow down.
Pause.
Slow down. The only account that blames the victim, and you're fighting for it.
I'm not fighting for. What are you missing, bro? This is a story. It came down the pipeline. I'm the fucking news. I'm just reading the news. Like, I don't have an angle on this. I'm just telling you what's alleged. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I wasn't there.
You have an angle on what you present.
On this? No. The angle was that it is another lawsuit for Diddy. It wasn't really so much about Cassie. That's why Diddy's name was listed first, and I mentioned Diddy as having the legal trouble and having the Diddy case.
And that's what I was.
Wasn't
that's what I was
about
arguing
making Cassie
before.
look no way. It was
that's what I was arguing before.
Hey, hold on, time out, man. We ain't gonna be beefing with you. All right, look, people may have an issue with what I have to say, and I don't really care, but I will say this, bro. Where was you 2 years ago? Because I'm saying, like, this is the issue that I have. This is the issue that I have with Cassie, right? You was cool saying all of that shit when you thought he was going up the road. Now that you know he coming home, now it's a different thing. Like,
no statements changed though.
Which statement? Whose statement changed?
No.
I'm not saying no statements changed, but now it's all of a sudden like, hey, wait a minute, we got to do this and that because now he's getting out. Yo, if you felt like that, you should have felt the same way. Like.
Her testimony because she was subpoenaed for the trial. She didn't want to say shit because she got her money because she sued him earlier. And she was out the whole mix.
Well, then maybe I just don't know enough about what the fuck I'm talking about right now.
Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know.
I'm saying this guy that's coming out talking about being pissed off with Cassie and stuff like that because literally I didn't understand. I mean, okay, so Diddy may be getting sued, but when I watched his video today when he was talking, that wasn't the takeaway that I got from that. What I got from that was he was angry with Cassie. Right. And I'm saying, why now? Why weren't you upset last week? Why, or not last week, but like a couple years ago?
Because it's an opportunity. That's what Bravo was just saying.
And that's what I'm saying. It's 2009, bro. Now it's 2025.
Yeah.
We need to shut opportunistic motherfuckers down. We need to shut opportunistic motherfuckers down.
Yeah.
Don't give the take the air out the room. But also, no matter what anybody says, nobody has come out and disagree with the fact that Puff Daddy made Christopher Williams suck his dick.
Oh God.
Well, that's what got us our monetization blown tonight.
Yeah, here we go. Blowed away.
But it's okay. No, but look,
it's all right.
I don't disagree, and he did, and like he's a terrible human, whatever. But
from making a man do that, yeah.
But see, this right here, what you just said, Mr. Bravo, my esteemed colleague, kind of goes against that Me Too movement. Where people were pulling cases from 1963 and sending Bill Cosby to jail. Now, all of a sudden, there's 83 people in the room saying Bill Cosby's a piece of shit out of nowhere.
Did he not drug those bitches?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Drug deals. Women.
Did he?
Did he not drug them?
No, I don't know. Did he?
No, the thing is that I looked at
because he came home, a year later?
The whole thing is that it was hard to prove because they were so old.
Exactly, and that's a problem. That's my point. This guy's coming back from 2009 talking about he got a case of the itchies and scratchies, bro. You were a schmeck's worker, bro. I mean, we all wish we could be that at some point as males.
Not really.
But you got to charge that shit to the game. No.
Wait,
you're missing my point. As a male, the concept of being compensated for what you do.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Hold on.
I'd love to be able to say I charged that motherfucker $1,000 last night.
We are missing an important thought. We're missing an important viewpoint.
So much.
Jen, what do you think what we're doing right now? What do you think about what we're talking about right now? Please. The floor is yours.
And you just threw it on the spot.
Jesus.
Wait, me?
I did. What do you think? What do you think?
I really did not know who we were talking to. I'm like looking around. Like,
Jen.
All right, so I think that it's a waste of time,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I feel like this is one of the most like popular stories right now, and we're not really focusing on what's really going on, which is the actual verdict and how that is going to shape how people talk about these types of stories in the future. And that's what I'm just thinking about this whole time you guys are talking about this. And I feel like it being a guy, it's just putting another spin on it so that way they can say, oh well, they were all just freaks because look, these gay people are in it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but whatever.
You're
Well, you
not.
said
And
it.
so
It's
it's
done.
just adding
It's
on
happens.
other
Let's
layers,
go.
and it's basically masking what we just dealt with. Because me as a woman, I'm still
like
kind of
Scott.
grieving this whole situation, not because I'm in love with Cassie. Honestly, she kind of gets on my nerves, but seeing her being dragged through the hallway, hearing
That was
what
ridiculous.
happened,
Yo, she
like
can only
all
sing
of
on two
that.
scales. Let's be honest. She can only sing on two scales.
That's
Let's
got
be
nothing
honest.
to do with it.
I don't really care about her singing none of that.
But on the I'm not gonna villainize her because she doesn't have a vocal range that one of our guests who are speaking on her has. Anyway, go ahead, please.
No,
And I don't think that she compares to like any of our pop icons, none of that. But the point is, I do think that this whole situation that she dealt with probably impacted her career because we've seen worse do better, if we're being honest. So I
True.
feel like she was kind of wrapped into this web, especially at such a young age.
I mean, what
So I'm
about
just
Lumi
thinking,
D?
like, okay, by making it to the where the
MC
point is like,
Malicious
okay,
Fish
he didn't
Eyes.
do this and or he didn't do it with malicious intent. He's just freaky. I'm like, at what extent, like, is freakiness okay? Like, I honestly am just like, wow, like the whole thing just baffled me.
You know, I 100% agree with that.
I draw the line at shit on that thing. That's too much.
Yeah, human excrement is definitely the line. Human excrement is the line. The discussion
But that's
comes
what
up.
they're
That's the
doing in
end of the night.
Dubai.
Yeah, well, that's
I mean,
Dubai.
clearly.
Dubai. So
They do that in Dubai?
they do in Dubai.
You've never heard of this?
Unconsensual bruises that last for a week. That's what you draw.
Time out. I want to feel your warmth.
Oh my god.
Probably what they say.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Yo, that's
oh,
ridiculous.
my God.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm saying,
my
like-
God. You know what's so funny is that Brick said the most safest thing that I wanted to say. I have the worst thing to say right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Come on,
you do.
Dubai.
Nope.
And he got the nerve
No.
to have a cross on. I'm just so.
Who has a cross
We're
on?
talking about Diddy
Who
in this
got girls
picture.
on?
Well, let's.
Well, only
let's-
God can judge him.
But let's. I want to piggyback on what Genesis was saying, because I do
That's what
believe
Diddy
that
said.
the conversation that needs to be had in a broader sense is the cost and the damage that happens from these toxic ass relationships, and that's what Diddy and Cassie had. And at the end of it, that never really got dealt with because they missed the statute of limitations on the domestic violence, and then everything else was just a bunch of hearsay. But at the end of the day, this woman went through a toxic ass relationship like a lot of women do. And that
Like Amber
conversation's not going to be had because they tried to make her look like a villain. Even in this, like you said, he mentioned Cassie, taking one of his children out. Like, that's making her look like the villain, even though technically she was a victim. So it changes the conversation from what Diddy did to what Cassie was doing. And I think that's the flip they're trying to pull right now, because Diddy ain't free. You see what I'm saying? He didn't go home,
He
folks.
still has two counts. He
Yeah.
still has two counts that have 10 to 20 on them.
Yeah, he can still see at least a decade where you ain't gonna see his ass on the street. So his thing ain't over with yet. So we don't need to stop talking about the monster that he is to turn it into Cassie had crabs and was taking out her children, and that makes her look like an evil person when really the person on trial was definitely the evil person. I believe Cassie got brought into.
When you look at this picture, who do you believe has the power? The person in the front or the person in the back?
Definitely the person in the front.
honestly.
You look lost.
Right, exactly. And then on top of all of that, Diddy did not. Here's the thing that we never heard in any of the fucking statements and any of all the fucking exposés. You haven't heard about in the freak offs. Diddy was getting plugged. You never heard that.
Yeah, nobody's been talking about that. And that was the other
Correct,
thing.
'cause
What
it's a
about all
power
of those
thing.
people?
It's
Where
a-
are all those people?
It's It's a power thing for him.
Hiding.
And so what I'm trying to tell you is that we need to stop idolizing our Black heroes and just saying, what have you done for me lately? Like Miss Jackson said. And when you do the right thing, we support you. When you don't, we stop. Period.
Okay. Well, speaking of support, make sure y'all get the likes up. Hit the like button. I know that this conversation, it brings people in the conversation. It brings everybody in. They forget that they have a responsibility as the viewer to hit that like button. Okay? Support the show.
Yeah.
Support the channel. Support the movement and what we're doing over here. It's not just conversation. We're actually constructing some things over here. But I wanted to make sure that everybody understood when I started.
Porta potty.
Yeah, that's Dubai porta potty.
This trial should have been called "Don't Forget Your Black Pentecost."
Right. Because
we'll send you a quick reminder along with jail time, Pentecost.
Well, the problem is when you criticize your idols or your idols in this space, like that's when you get called anti-Black. Yep. So it's like if you say, "Oh, Tyler Perry did this," or "Oh, Diddy did that," or "Oh,
Tyler Perry must be stopped at all costs."
You want to bring down the black man?
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think the simple-minded think that way, but anybody who believes,
yes, but the majority of this country is simple-minded.
Yeah, it's like
I understand that,
whoever.
But you gotta give yourself a good argument. But I'm sorry, I talked over you, Jen. Please go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
You're good. I mean,
no, I'm good. No, go ahead.
Don't forget your Black Pentecost. They will remind you.
And the main thing is, do not forget that, because being Black is very important. It is very important.
It is. I just feel like I know y'all don't watch Love Island, but like there's a whole controversy right now about how
the one Black girl got. Yeah, I heard that shit.
And I'm sure you did, because that happens every year.
Thank you.
Token Black girl, and she always gets
she
crucified
forgets
for
that
crashing
she
out.
is Black,
right?
And she starts to cross into behavior that Black people should not cross into.
And it's always the darkest girl.
I blame that Black girl.
Always the darkest girl.
I blame the Black girl because you've never watched a horror movie in your life. The Black girl always gets murdered.
I'm sitting next to my fiance, and this goes back to episode, I think, or season maybe 2 or 3 of Love Island UK.
Yeah.
And I say, "Oh, we got Black folks in here. This is gonna be good."
Yeah.
And every time they get to this comfort place with the gossip, they start acting like they're loyal and they're in the in crowd.
Ain't nobody your friend.
Ain't nobody your goddamn friend on this damn show. And they always get sent home. Now, what I will say is, Love Island US did shock me, because I think season 1 or 2, one of the other, a Black couple won, or
it was
a Black
6.
girl. Yeah, oh, it was a season 6. Okay.
Well, they had to do that. They had to do that.
But
that's because it was Odell Beckham's brother. But you know what?
Oh, that's who that was.
There we go.
That's why. Okay.
There we go.
But either way, it's always like I start to fall.
This shit is not scripted.
I start to fall in love with these Black folks on these Love Islands, and I watch them fall right into. But hear me out, bro. And I watch them fall right in. I understand that, Bravo, but there's certain things that people would not do for a Klondike bar, and some of them have stepped up and said, "No, I ain't doing that shit."
Yeah,
and then you read about what they've said that they're not doing.
Right.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, I do fall in love with some of these characters, and I'm like, man, you know what? I feel you. I love your loyalty, but then I watch who you start to become, and then I watch you forget that tomorrow you're going home so somebody else can stay that's supposed to be in the scripted shit. You are not going to win that $50,000, Miss Black America. You're not.
Yeah. They ain't gonna do it 2 years in a row.
And you're not coming back on Love Island All-Stars either. Because that's the only reason why, if I was a single male and I was in my 20s or 30s, that's the only reason why I would want to be on Love Island, because this is my chance to really show my personality and just have a great time, so that whether I win or not, I become part of the Love Island All-Star family. I'm at all of the parties and having a great time and getting money. That's it. But these people forget who they are, and they get dropped out like episode 6 and 7 out of 54. Nobody remembers who you are.
But the thing is, like, you're expecting gravity for a reality show. Stop it.
And it's not even
Absolutely.
reality. It's scripted reality, actually.
No.
That's what I'm
Hold
trying
on.
to say.
I'm not saying that it's not, but this is true. You do have opportunities where you can tell a specific joke.
Very minor. But what I'm trying to here's okay.
These niggas get money.
They get, but they don't get generational wealth. So why are you selling your soul to fuck yourself up to the whole
What got
world?
you there in the first place? It wasn't generational wealth talent. It was you have big ass titties, a pretty face, and a nice ass, bro.
I understand that, but the whole thing is that we don't need to we don't need to commoditize that. We don't need to make those commodities for the rest of the world. We don't need to. We don't need to feed the evil machine.
You're right, but this is coming from one of the most intelligent people I've ever heard. They are not.
You have to let me finish. I'll let you talk for quite a minute. I have to talk. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that we have watched things and we have accepted things for so long and have reasoned why we like these things. But the thing is that these things are all about figuring out a way for advertisements to get into your home. That's how every form of communication that you use is based upon. And now what I'm trying to say is, like, think for your goddamn self, everybody out there, everybody who hears my voice, think for your goddamn self. Go pick up an actual book, read it, look at some shit, and then come up with your own ideas. Because the easiest way to come up with an idea has already been pre-programmed you to think a certain way.
Okay.
I relieve the floor.
All right, well, I got to get into our closer for the night. Can we move into the closer?
Yeah, we can, but I did want to say this. Somebody brought this up. The producers of Love Island are freaking sick.
They are.
And I'm going to tell you why. They take these people, they take their cell phones away from them. They tell them when they can get up, when they can go to sleep. They have a certain type of food that you always see them eat.
Pancakes.
Yeah, and that avocado toast.
Every
and
day.
It's like, the lights come on, you don't even know what time it is, but they're like those baseball, we call baseball stadium lights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's why they always wake up with sunglasses, like, and then like you have no sense of what time it like. What? And then the games they play.
What do you?
They're worse than Diddy.
Gerbils. These are gerbils in an experiment. Why do we care about them?
Because they are human beings, and that's the problem that I have.
But everything around them is exploited to make us watch the show. They are gerbils in an experiment. Why do we give them any credence? The more we watch them, the more they'll put more.
I get it, Bravo. You made your point that the entertainment that young people find entertaining is what is it? It insults your intelligence. But once they move you out of the way, it doesn't matter. They're still watching it. But I get what you're saying. Look, my point is, I am on your side. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be what they're making these people do. Because the one thing the rich people do know is if we dangle $1, they'll do it. And that's what they're doing. But at the end of the day, I just want people to exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
While they're showing you Love Island, they're killing public television.
Say that shit.
You're right.
I'm telling you that's in the big booty plug bill. They're killing television.
I understand that, but I mean, they're winning because they're programming people through a certain language. The reason why you may not be winning right now is because you're telling
this wrong.
No. I am not defending it. That's why you're hearing. Maybe I'm not explaining it the right way, because when I said
for love
that's what I'm saying.
With the Bachelor and the Bachelorette.
What I'm saying
different.
What I'm saying to you, Mr. Bravo, is this: they find a way with how they manipulate with their programming and how they write this stuff to get their message across that creates viewers. Your method, and it's been this way for a while, and I agree with you 100%. I don't like the method that much, but your method is to say, you motherfuckers are dumb, pick up a book. Well, little kids do not subscribe to that. So you have to
Mine
figure out a
do.
way to get your message across. No, yours do because they live with you. What I'm saying is, by calling these kids dumb and saying, you know, like y'all,
I don't call them dumb.
you're not using that word. But what I'm saying is, I see the you that you don't see. While I agree with you, your point is perfect. Your delivery or your message of getting it to them is terrible.
Dubai.
Garbage. You have to work on that part. But I, as a 48-year-old male, I agree with you.
I ask people why they think the way they think, and then when they give me a viral thing, I'll say, "So why is that being presented to you?" I ask why and why and why and why, so they actually start thinking. You know what I mean? Not just I saw this, I saw that, I saw this, I saw that. I ask why and why and why and why, so you actually start getting literacy.
I agree, but I'm telling you right now, that's not working with these kids.
It does not matter. I'm not going to give up because every person that I talk to,
and I don't want you to. I'm saying figure out how to deliver that message.
Let me finish my message.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that I will never quit doing what I'm doing.
Who said to stop?
The only reason why I will never quit is because nobody quit on me, because I thought I knew everything. And somebody said, "So why do you think about that?" I said, "I don't know." "Why do you think about that?" And I said, "I don't know." And I had to figure this shit out, which is why I'm good now. And so like the whole each one teach one shit, it is not a fucking slogan to me.
No,
it is a duty.
I feel like you're arguing a point that I'm not arguing with you. No, I agree with you 100%. But what I'm saying to you is this: let's just break it down to basics. If you see somebody trying to hammer a fucking square through a circle, right?
Yeah.
And you know, the square's a little bit bigger than the circle. It's like, okay, I get it. You're never going to give up. But you might want to get some sandpaper and smooth the corners of that square into a circle to actually accomplish your mission, or else you just a nigga that never gives up. But if you're not accomplishing that mission, okay, you never gave up. What I'm saying is there is a certain tact.
I've been successful in my individual endeavors. I am 70% successful. And I gave them all the message, each one teach one. So I'm starting the seed with myself. I talk like I walk.
No, I agree. Like 100%. You do.
Okay. Okay, well, gentlemen, we got it since we're heightened right now. We got 15 minutes left here.
Let's take it down.
We got it. Well, this ain't going to take it down. This next one ain't going to take it down.
Amp it up.
Yeah.
Big beautiful BS.
Yeah, we got to get to the big beautiful BS.
Yeah, a big booty plug, Bill.
Yeah. But before I get all the way into the booty plug, I want to.
I might turn my hat around for this motherfucker. Shit.
I'm gonna play the clip first, and then we're gonna discuss
it. Sports mode.
But before you play the plug, can I just say?
See,
yeah, they cut your mic all the way out.
Yeah, you're making too much noise over there.
Yeah, stop leaning into the mic. It's ruining your good. See, this is it.
I told you, Bricks. I pulled the one that you sent me. I liked it, so I'm playing.
About what I found, and I need someone to tell me that this isn't as bad as it looks. So I'm always keeping an ear to the ground when it comes to biotech, especially wearable biotech, because I hate how these health devices are kind of just major data collection tools. And on June 24th, RFK Jr. was in a congressional hearing, and he had said something that kind of bothered me.
Yeah, he did.
He said that my vision is every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years. To me, this didn't sound like him encouraging people to get fitness trackers. It sounded like a federal mandate that he wanted everyone to wear biotech monitoring devices by 2029. I'm like, okay, well, where's this money coming from? I mean, you can't put a bunch of surveillance devices on 330 million people without some sort of massive funding, because I assume that that's kind of what he's talking about. So I go looking for the money. I decide to start digging through Trump's big, beautiful bill, because I figure if there's any biotech surveillance funding, it's got to be buried in there somewhere. As I'm reading through it, I'm seeing all of these cuts that we've been talking about all week, right? Like they're cutting the NIH budget by 40%, the CDC by 50%. Like they're literally dismantling agencies that do actual medical research and disease prevention, and it's absolutely disgusting. But then I see this line item, and it's for $25 billion for something called Rural Health Transformation Program. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a second,
Shouts to Sonny Bricks for the super chat, for the support. Appreciate
Word,
you,
I
bro.
got you, bro.
See, I thought
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
I'll be thinking it doesn't work, but apparently it does work, and people just aren't using it.
Oh yeah, it does
So
work.
be more like Bricks.
Thank God. Yeah, thank God we don't.
$3.
Thank God we don't have a black woman president.
Oh God! See, back to the clip.
You are destroying real medical research, defunding rural hospitals to the point of closure, but spending $25 billion on rural health? Like, what is that? This is the first I'm hearing of this. So I start digging into whatever this rural health transformation system is and what it actually means. What it is remote monitoring, robotics, artificial intelligence, and other advanced technologies. And that always makes me pause, right? Technology. Now look, investing in AI and technology for healthcare isn't weird. Like, that's exactly what we should be doing to help patients and advance medical care.
Gotcha.
But here's what doesn't make sense to me. You don't defund the NIH and the CDC while simultaneously spending $25 billion on a rural health program. Like, this does not feel like an improvement to rural health, obviously. It feels like a replacement to rural health. Oh, but then I noticed there's a timeline attached to this budget because $20 billion of that $25 billion gets spent in just the years 2028 and 2029 alone. The same years RFK Jr.'s wearables has a deadline for us, right? So that's interesting.
Add a little commentary.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of commentary is that there has never been in any part of any plan on the MAGA platform that helps anybody other than rich people. And nobody can tell me otherwise. The reason why is because nobody can point to a platform reform that says people who make under $80,000 will get this. So with this bill, and I have actually read probably 30% of this bill. It's 900 pages. And I actually have 2 full-time jobs, so I couldn't read it. But the things that I have read and the things that I have heard hurt his entire base. This is absolutely insane to me. Like, you hate people like me so much that you will vote against your best interest and be poor. I'm going to, and like I said, Hayes, I'm going to be fine because I worked hard and I am in a tax bracket that won't be affected. I'm actually going to benefit. But I'm not worried about benefiting while other people lose. Right. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. And that's
like,
what this segment is about.
Like,
yeah, that's what we're going to go over.
But I understand that. But what I want to say is like, we've garnered an audience of people who just wanted to own the libs. And they need to understand that you're owning yourselves. If you're doing a thing just to make another person mad, that's not great. Anyway, please go.
Let me let the lady finish giving us her points because I have a bunch. I did my research. But I only got a few minutes, so I'm going to try to...
This is when I went from confused to actually scared. So okay. Peter Thiel's company, Parental, you know, the surveillance company that builds spy tools for the government, well, he just got a $443 million contract with the CDC. Yeah, the same CDC that they're defunding by 50%. So they're destroying the public health agency and then paying Peter Thiel's surveillance company to take over its data functions. And look, whenever I think about Peter Thiel, I know that Elon Musk also is probably involved because those two are thick as thieves, quite literally. I mean, Thiel bought JD Vance's seat in the White House and Musk bought Donald Trump's. So I just assume they're running the country. So while Thiel's getting all of these healthcare data contracts, like what's Musk doing? You know, he's been very vocal about hating this bill. It doesn't benefit him, right? So I check on Neuralink, which is Musk's brain chip company, and I find out that they had just selected in January the University of Miami as their second US site for human brain implant trials. Yes, you heard that right. In fact, they literally just completed one of their first ever human brain chip surgeries like 2 days ago. No, I'm not kidding. Wish I was. Sure I'm not. Now look, I want to be clear that the University of Miami has a very legit reputation when it comes to like brain research and helping paralyzed patients. So on the surface, this kind of partnership makes sense. And if we were talking about a doctor who cares about the well-being of others, that would be one thing. But we're talking about Elon Musk here. The same guy who has reportedly 1,500 animals since 2018 at Neuralink medical facilities for failed medical experiments. And employees have actually come forward and complained about these hack jobs because Elon Musk is always pressuring them to move fast. Like, move fast and break things, except for these things this time are living beings. And he's always stated that his goal is not just about helping patients, but that he wants symbiosis with artificial intelligence. That's actually the mission statement on Neuralink's
we're
website.
losing people.
Well, we lost a couple, but we almost done. So we're going to run this thing out.
Because there's always a modus operandi behind everything they do. I'm thinking to myself, well, why Florida specifically? Like, there's a lot of great neuroscience programs across the United States. What's so special about Florida? And this is when it gets dark. I'm just going to warn anyone who's still watching. I start digging around in Florida legislation, and I see that on May 30th, Florida. DeSantis had vetoed a bill that would have let families sue doctors for medical malpractice if it resulted in death. Like, he vetoed that bill. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Florida, while under DeSantis's rule, has become an experimental playground for all kinds of policies that would never fly in any other state. He's consistently using emergency powers to bypass normal oversight, testing controversial programs, and pushing the boundaries of what's legally actually possible in the United States of America. Florida, I'm so sorry for everybody who has to live under Ron DeSantis. So what if Florida wasn't just chosen because of UM's research reputation? Like, what if it was chosen because DeSantis
Ronnie White Boots. Look, I'm gonna pause her there because she goes on for like 2 more minutes here, but I don't have time for her to finish this. But what I believe,
like 35% of her fucking.
It's fine, man. It's fine. We don't worry about that. But for what she was saying, there was some recent medical supplies that got sent over to the alligator Alcatraz thing, and they believe that they're going to be utilizing people for testing. So. But they'll have to, of course, sign some type of waiver. But I think they're going to start.
Who is she? And why should I believe her?
Well, it's not even. See, this is the thing. What she's talking about are things that you can go research. You know, you can always research the wearables that she's talking about. And
are they in the? Did she give us links?
I'm sure I could go look it up, but that wasn't what I was.
No, she did not give us links. She didn't.
She did not.
This is the thing I was saying earlier. Media literacy is a thing. There's a lot of things that speak to your emotions, and especially if you're leaning a certain way, it makes you feel a certain way even more. We have to research everything. Bricks hates this about me. When he says, "Yo, this shit is dope," I'm like, "Yeah, let me see." He hates that about me because I always say, "Yeah, let me see." I don't
hate that about you. That shit made my experience on social media so much better because I don't believe or listen to anybody that doesn't provide receipts.
No, I'm just talking about real life. Just in regular life. This is regular life. I need to have unequivocal evidence, regardless.
Now, what I will say in regards to what she's saying, I watched this video, shared the video. I went and looked up Neuralink. I went and looked up what is it called?
Palantir.
Palantir.
Yeah, you can look them all up.
And the truth be told, the truth be told, the interesting part about it is that I started to question, well, wait a minute now. Was all of this Elon Musk stuff a pump fake? Because think about it. He starts the America Party, right? He started it today.
Nobody's following him.
Not yet.
I'm not saying anybody's following him, but what I'm saying is he starts the American Party, and the American Party is actually supposed to be even more in love with conservative Republican values, right?
They're supposedly supposed to be centrist, yes.
But he starts this party, and now there's even more of a stronghold.
I don't believe that.
Okay, well, think about it like this. Let's say he convinces more Democrats to say, okay, well, like for me,
he's not convincing any Democrats after he did the salute. He's not convincing any Democrats, bro. Stop it.
I understand what you're saying, but look at his message. Because think about the Democrats, the Republicans.
You're thinking about people who are online all the time. Just because he says something doesn't mean we forget his history.
Okay.
He's been backing replacement theory. He's been backing
so let me ask you this
Third
question.
Reich messages.
Let me ask you this question.
Come on.
Let me ask you this question. Do you know where I was going with what I was going to say?
I don't want you to validate any of the things that he was going to say.
So that's your assumption. Okay. Well,
Yes.
I asked you that question because you interrupted me twice, like you knew where I was going.
Yes, of course, because I don't.
And you
I don't
also
want to
said
give,
earlier tonight, I let you talk.
True that, and I don't want you to give any credence to a motherfucker that's.
I'm not
destroying the
giving him
nation.
credence. And we do agree there. What I'm saying to you is, you have this beef between left and right. Now,
No, I
if him
don't.
and no, not you. I'm saying, just in general, we have America is experiencing this beef between the left and the right. Right.
Right.
Now, we've seen him openly go against Trump. So much so that now he's coming out with this American Party. But we do know, just as she said, and I think you told me something about this as well, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are actually like that.
Yeah, I did tell you that earlier today.
So what I'm saying is the pump fake. If he comes out with this American Party, and for all of these Democrats that actually, for the Democrats that do kind of lean conservative, but they just don't like what the Republicans are talking about. And now he creates this party that does believe in those, conservative values. And now you have Republicans and the American Party that have now taken more Democrats from the Democratic Party. Now, instead of having a 50,
not taking any of them. They're not taking any of them.
And you and I both thought that this election was going to go another way, but we found out America was on some bullshit.
No, here's the thing: there's evidence in front of these Democrats that you think are going to be stolen.
Yes, and
fuckery.
That's based off of the people that you and I both thought were intelligent, that we are finding out are not as intelligent as we thought they were.
You already know what your news sources are feeding you, what your algorithms are feeding you. What your algorithms are feeding you right now are against the current administration.
But just humor me, bro.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to talk about the facts that are on the ground right now.
I know one thing. Election night, you and I were both fucking depressed because we found out there was a lot of dumb motherfuckers in this country.
I did not know that with that many races, but the whole thing
you're saying right now is subscribing to that same ideology that people actually are intelligent.
That's absolutely incorrect. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is that the nation was swayed by social media because they think that's the truth.
And if Elon Musk and Peter Thiel are in bed together,
please allow me to finish the full sentence.
Sure.
What I'm trying to say is
talking, motherfuckers.
The whole thing that I want is media literacy for all. For all people. I want everybody to check the sources for all things. I don't care if you like me or don't like me. Just check your sources and see if they're for real and see who they're paid by. And the thing is that they want you to, the first thing that made Germany 1940s work is because they made the actually publicly funded news press become the enemy. Lügenpresse. That's the word fake news. That means lying press. Lügenpresse. This is the playbook that's being repeated right now. And
I'm trying to explain what the fuck I'm saying to you.
But what I'm saying to you is that we don't need to tell people what we think. We need to tell people how to find the information. That's what we need to do.
How about we discuss what is when it comes to this bill? Like, we know that there's a divide, right? But this bill has
Angelized Mike.
This bill has been signed, and there are implications after that signage. And that was really where I wanted to go with the conversation, was because there are differences between the lower class, middle class, and upper class, and who's going to feel what. And I think that we should have that kind of conversation so we can be real. Because like you said, some stuff isn't going to affect everyone. Some stuff is only going to affect certain people at certain income levels, but we have to be honest with them about where those effects actually happen. Our personal feelings about it is our personal feeling, but we know that the middle class is going to get hit with a lot of shit. We know that a work requirement for people to receive SNAP benefits, they'd have to work at under minimum wage.
It's not the middle class. It's not the middle class.
But that's the lower class. What I was saying is there's a bunch of differences in the entirety of it. It's based on that old school trickle down economics bullshit. But because the middle class is the largest working class, they're going to be the ones that pay the most. They're going to pay the most in the taxes and the tariffs because they don't have as much to survive past paying for things. So the pain is going to be greater for the middle class, even though the real hit to like SNAP programs and shit, that's not middle class, it's lower class. But that's a whole different problem. You see what I'm saying? So we got two different classes with two different problems. Then you've got
I probably said this the wrong way, sir. I'm going to say it like this. You know what? Let's say we got team A and B, right? A seems to be winning in everything that they're doing, right? But there's enough of B where it's like, I wish y'all motherfuckers would shut the fuck up. So one guy on team A says, hey, look, let's create this beef between us. You know what? We giving you all of this money for your company and stuff. We're going to act like we're going to take it away, but you go over there and create something else so we can get team B to split up even more and vote against their own, interests. So this guy pops up and says, hey, I'm team C. I'm the best of both of y'all. Even though these values that team C comes with align with team A. Now, if it was a 50-50 beef, team A and team C now hold team 75% of that. What I'm saying to you is they've been in bed the whole time. And what Bravo said made so much sense. He said, go out there and do your own research. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying to you is at the end of the day, it's the pump fake. Elon and Trump would never argue. It's all a publicity stunt. This new party that's coming up, this America party that's coming up, is just another way to divide anything that makes sense. That's what I'm saying, Bravo. We've been on the same page. That's what I'm saying.
What I'll tell you is this. Let me just tell you.
Textbook bullying.
There's three simple things I want to get across. The reason why this regime was voted in is because there was too much of a backlash against the normal state. We tried to be too, I don't want to say woke was wrong. We tried to force it on everybody. Instead of just letting things happen, we did that. That's the first thing. The second thing is people voted their bigotry, whatever it is they choose, whether it was anti-gay, whether it was anti-black, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, they voted their bigotry, and one party spoke against bigotry. It was like, yeah, I'm going to speak to your evil. Vote for me. The third thing is, this is the worst part. They gave a whole bunch of fake numbers about a bunch of fake issues to make it sound like they had a platform. When the whole thing was trying to make this into serfdom, medieval times, where the people who have money own everything and the people who don't have money just work for the people who have all the money. That's what's been happening since Reagan. And nobody is fucking stopping and listening to what is happening.
We are.
Because everybody's talking about how they feel and this and that. No, study.
And that's really what we're trying to convey in this conversation. That's what I wanted to get to kind of digging into a little bit because
because that motherfucker you got on the street on the screen right now, that motherfucker is a piece of shit.
I've never seen a ball gobbler, logins. He shares porn logins with his son, by the way.
All right,
bro, that's crazy. Like, bro, weird. For some people that are so against the LGBT community, I have never seen a party dick ride this hard, bro, except for the evidence that came out in the Diddy case, bro.
I've been trying to tell y'all from day one. Wake the fuck up. Watch what the fuck is happening. The whole thing is they sell you a dream and they're trying to sell you anger and steal your power.
That's on
what
point.
They've been doing.
You're rocking. Yo, you are on point. Can I ask anybody in this chat right now, because I can tell by the discussions last week, I can tell who people voted for and why they subscribe to this channel based off of the content that has been displayed here. Now, what I will say is, have any of you motherfuckers in this chat or period, just outside of this chat, forgotten that we were supposed to not have an IRS this year, bro? Ain't none of y'all brought that up. Now you're cool with no taxes.
Ask the question I ask every goddamn week since he got elected. What's the question I ask every week? 80,000.
Yeah, how many of you that make under 80,000 are cool with that based off?
Well, I think that's benefiting. That's part of the problem and why we need to have the real discussion. That's
what's the real discussion? Because the real discussion I thought was cash rules, but now everybody's worried about immigrants. And they talk about Christian values. Now let's talk about Christian values. As black people, as a black man, I always thought because of slavery that we were the meek. And it wasn't until recently that I realized, wait a minute, I'm a black man and I'm thinking we're the meek that shall inherit the earth. But for the last, I don't know how many years, I've looked at some of the jobs that these people are doing, the ones ended up in Alcatraz, and thought, wait a minute, they do jobs I wouldn't do. What, they're the landscapers, they're the ones working in the hotels? Black people say, well, I ain't doing that shit. Who's picking the fucking vegetables and the fruits?
With day passes, bro. With day passes.
Well,
bro,
see, that's what
those are the meek.
But that's what you need to understand and how they flip that conversation. That's why
who's flipping it?
How the conversation was flipped to be viewed as a benefit to the lower class, the less skilled worker. The ones who are now going to have that work requirement are going to be the people who they're expecting to refill those jobs.
Bro, the only reason why they are looked at like pieces of shit is because of, bro, the only reason why these motherfucking rich folks want them out is because they will pile up 20 to 30 people in one house and they will start companies.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's part of it. But you got to understand.
Do you know the only reason why? You know the only reason why polygamy is illegal in America?
Because
that many people are claiming. That many people are claiming in it. Like for example, you have one man in a house or one woman in a house, and then the opposite, like 5 husbands or 5 wives. Now you're collecting 6 or 7 income tax checks in one house. That's the only reason why that shit is a problem in America.
So here's the thing that I want to say. Jen, what do you think about what we've been saying?
So I have been very quiet on purpose because I really don't do politics, but I'm honestly just learning because I have realized that in all of this, I'm just not really the most well-versed on it because I try to just stay out of it. So I'm just hearing y'all's opinions and just lending an ear, I guess, because it's not really my topic.
And that's fine.
But from what you've heard, if you had a stance on, let's just say,
nah, don't force her into a stance. She said she's listening, bro.
No,
because she's got a fan base, and I don't want to.
I get it. No, but I get it. But I want her to say what she feels.
But we haven't.
I'm not trying to get her. I'm not trying to make a whole statement. What I'm trying to ask her is like, how does she feel about just one particular item, and that is like with the BBB and like birthright citizenship. Like, what do you feel about that?
I feel like we've been fighting on this, and I feel like there's a time where you just have to realize that they just needed a new target, like how we talked about earlier. And I don't think that'll ever end. So even if like this doesn't work, they're gonna find somebody new, and next thing you know, it's these people, and we can't have them.
Exactly.
But that's just
Yep.
honestly, if we really want to think about it, like the American way, because there's always just one group that we
There's always
just
the
collectively
boogeyman.
are like, this group gotta go because XYZ, because that's how they got here to begin with. So that's why we love competition shows and when people get eliminated and crazy stuff happens. And that's why all the crazy stuff ends up on the news because it's like shock value for people.
That's
and
that's a dope
Big Famous
allegory. I
ruin
like
it for
the way you
everybody.
did that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's dope. I like the way you compared those two. That's dope.
Well, let me
true.
break this thing down for the people in some quick points before we get out of here. Just some general shit, okay? From what I've read in the big beautiful bill, it's a couple of things. And like I said, they spin things a certain way.
Bill.
Yeah, they spin things a certain way. But the potential benefits for lower class were supposed to be job creation through infrastructure and manufacturing, like building new businesses that gives more jobs for the lower income non-skilled worker. That was supposed to be the first thing. Regulatory burdens, which would have been the deportation, so that opens up those lower end jobs because now there's immigrants who are gone. Somebody's got to fill those. So they're using that whole thing to pitch to the lower class, hey, we're making these jobs for y'all because we're giving you this work requirement. So they kind of bundled it up that way to make it seem less painful. But the reality check is, you know, the more jobs that are available and they get more AI into stuff, them jobs ain't gonna be available. So we all know that. And
can you talk about what AI is in the BBB? Did you hear about that?
With the non-regulation? With non-regulation?
For 10 years?
Yeah, for 10 years. Yeah, we've been talking about that. That's why I've been getting in trouble for talking about the Alpha Indigo, because that's part of that thing. That's part of the regulation. Can't talk about them either. But also for the middle class, there's some tax cuts, but they're temporary, and they're for temporary for individuals, but permanent for some small businesses and corporations. Manufacturing jobs.
Does middle class go down to 80 grand?
Yes. According to this.
No, middle class is actually, I think it's 200 to 500,000.
That's the real middle class, like the real middle class. I'm talking about the one.
Yeah,
they're
that's the
talking
one
about.
that bill speaks about. No, that is the real.
Talk about the real middle class.
Well, here's the thing: the real middle class didn't get a lot of anything. All we get to do is pay for increased tariffs and trade policies. There was nothing really in there.
And guess who wears red hats and voted for this shit?
Right, which is why I wanted to make sure that people were fully informed of the different impacts in the different classes. If you're
That's
poor,
the most
you are
frustrating
for a second,
shit.
but you got to go to work. But if you're in the middle class, you didn't get shit.
That's the most frustrating thing that I have with like TikTok. I get in these lives, bro, and I'm watching people give out gifts, man. They're giving out lightning bolts and roses, bro. I go in there and I'm shooting out the money, GUNs, the galaxies. Like one night I gave out a fucking lion.
What?
And people
lion?
are talking. Yeah, because
what that means.
I know
It's
you don't, but
expensive.
it's okay. But what I'm saying is I support, let's just say, I support people that are talking
because you make money.
Yeah, well, you can't support if you have no money. So no, I mean, but I support chat for some of these creators that are actually doing what you said, doing the research, holding people to receipts, doing the research, and feeding our youth. I support those chats.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, how do I want to be judged? By supporting people that are doing the right thing. So
and
I do that. If I have it, pay it forward.
Do what Sonny
Just like
Bricks
I'm the
did.
only one in this freaking chat throwing up bread. Like nobody else is doing that. But
Yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
doing it because I believe in what is going on here. Even if me and Bravo find out at the end of the day when we watch this back, we was on the same page, we was just arguing to argue. But Bravo's one of the most intelligent people anyway. But my point is, I have forgotten my point because we started talking about that. But anyway.
No. I know. I remember. I will remind you
chat.
of your point. Your point is that you get in there, you get in the suck, you support people who have the right idea. No, that's an army term. But hey, the whole thing is that you support people who have the right ideas and you pay like you weigh.
Yes, but that's not where we started this conversation. But it was somewhere along. Yeah, that's where I ended. But either way, man, the point that I'm saying that I didn't like about TikTok chats is that people. Well, this is a new point now, but
Well, we got YouTube chat and they blowing it up.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
They
I'll
are.
look at
They
it.
are.
Yeah, they're
Hold on, let
talking
me
over
go.
there.
I'll look.
Special
Damn,
shouts
man,
to No Reply in the chat and Wolf Raza in the chat as well.
Yo, Wolf
That's
Raza
a-
been cooking all night,
Yo,
bro.
No reply. That's a wild ass
hold on.
range
Oh, yeah.
for middle class.
But
That's a wild
that
ass
last
range.
statement,
That is a
I
real
just want to know, in this economy,
Middle
if we
class,
get a job,
no,
you don't need a government assistance.
Middle class is not 50K
No.
to 200.
We
Like,
know
No.
that. What I'm saying is the brackets and how they look at shit. It's
do you
a
know
very
who spilled
wide
the beans
range.
on that? What's the dude that ran for president that had I think it was Sarah
Perot?
Palin. Sarah Palin was next to him. He was
Oh,
a
that was,
war vet.
Was that
Yeah,
Tim?
that was
not
on
Tim.
what?
No,
the
He
guy
had
who
short
voted on the bill.
arms.
The guy who voted on the bill.
McClain,
yes,
McClain,
I know.
something.
McClain.
Yeah,
McClain
John
was
McClain.
the
John McClain.
first
Not John
candidate
McClain.
running
That's
for.
fucking diehard. That's a John McClain.
No, McCain.
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 McCain was the, yeah. All right, hold up. He was the first candidate that ran for president that actually fucked up and spilled the beans on what middle class actually was. And when we
Yes.
heard him say it, we was all like, the fuck? Because I was making, I think, 75,000 at that time. And I was like, fuck you mean middle class is 250 and up?
But he's
Okay,
right.
I've been
so
low
it-
class this
no,
whole
wait.
time.
Yeah, I mean, if
I
you
want
think about it,
to jump in. I want to jump in real quick. The thing is that McCain wasn't the only last presidential candidate to do that. He was the last presidential candidate to actually have civility. Because when that lady set up and said, "I'm not voting for Obama because he's a Muslim and I don't trust him," he said, "No." He said, "No. He's a person that I just happen to have a fundamental ideas against, but he is a good man."
Right.
He's
Okay, I
the
see what you're saying.
last presidential candidate to actually fight on issues. The last one.
well, just to kind of put this all into our bow.
Yo, did
here.
y'all hear when our commander in chief the other day said, when he was talking to that, what's that state over there? I forget where he was, but he literally said to the American people, them Democrats that voted against this bill or whatever, he said, they hate me. He said, but you know what? I hate them too. Did you see when he said that?
I did not see that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't
Bro,
catch
do
that
you
clip.
not know that Democrats are Americans too, bro?
Well, you know, I'm
Like,
gonna
you
be
the president.
I'm gonna be 1,000,000,000% though on this. Some of that shit is for stage two because a lot of those people are part of the upper class.
Stop giving him credit.
No,
for
I'm not, man.
bullshit.
But if you would just allow me to finish the fucking point, maybe you'll hear it. Okay? What I'm saying is a lot of those people, what Democrat or whatever, in government are the upper class who has the best impact from this, regardless of what side they're on. So I don't believe neither side because they're the ones that fucking won in this. They got the corporate tax cuts. They got the reduced regulations on capital gains. They got all that. That's all upper class shit. Them people in the government are not broke. None of them. You've heard their net worth. So I'm not trying to have this whole it's one side or the other. All rich people and all non-rich people. They're two different groups. And the government people are not
I'm going
poor.
to disprove you. I'm going to disprove you on one thing. Think about the Tesla buys.
What? They're Democrats?
Almost all of them were.
Yeah,
Almost
but that's not
all of the
most
Tesla
of them are
buys.
still middle class
no,
people though. I'm talking about the government officials.
No, they are not. They are not because do you know what is encompassed in owning an electrical vehicle, an EV?
I mean, true,
You
but I
have
don't.
you have to either have charging at home or have a grocery store or a Walmart near you with multiple charging stations. So you already have to be in an upper echelon area to even own an EV.
But that doesn't necessarily make you upper class. You could just be upper middle class.
Or they could just work for Uber because they be giving them out.
Yeah, but you could just be
Exactly,
upper middle class.
But the
You
thing
don't
is,
have
they
to be
drive
upper
them during the
class.
day, and then they drive that gas-powered Corolla back home. You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah. So even if they drive them during the day, it's not, what I'm trying to tell you is that this is why Tesla crashed, because when Tesla turned out to be a right-wing thing,
right?
The purchases dropped.
Yeah, but that's the business. I'm not worried about the business. Tesla's a business.
But you can't discount it. You can't discount it. What I'm trying to tell you is that all of these things are related. Which is why I'm trying to explain is that a lot of people have very confused and interpolated ideas, but they need to purify their ideas.
Well, what was impure about what I just broke down? Because I'm confused.
What you're trying to say is that what you're trying to break down is you're trying to think that only upper middle class or middle class. You're trying to say that middle class people own these things. Like,
no,
as far as
I didn't
EV.
say that. What I'm saying is there's a number of middle class people that own EVs. So having an EV doesn't make you upper class, is what I was saying.
But mostly upper middle class own them.
Right. But that doesn't change the difference between upper middle class and upper class. Upper middle class is still considered middle class. Now, that to me...
But the purpose for buying the vehicle tells you if you're blue or red.
Yeah, but we're not talking about political parties right now. We're talking about income levels.
No, I understand, but the whole thing is what I'm saying, that you can't separate those things.
Why not?
The Venn diagram, like the people who can afford those cars and care about buying those cars and they can afford to charge those cars.
Sonny Bricks
use them as a voting block.
Once again, Sonny Bricks with the super chat. Thank you very much. No, I think
Tesla only costs $40,000.
Yeah, but Bravo, I think we're arguing two totally different points right here. I'm trying to go over the impacts for different classes of people. It has nothing to do with their political.
I honestly think it's the cheapest car ever.
Yo, let's just be honest, man, because I stopped talking a while ago, yo.
After the big beautiful bill,
this big beautiful bill did not fucking help poor people.
Exactly.
And it shut down it's shutting down hospitals.
Neither did my mayor's bill, and you know what?
Like I said, the only winner, actual clear winner, was upper class. So if
this shit is funny as hell when I see broke ass people like, yeah, the bill passed. Like, nigga, you're about to die, bro.
That's
like,
what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I want to be honest with the people about. That's why I'm saying
I'm gonna win.
Right, let's roll the clip.
Well, this was just a clip.
Hold on, we're about to listen to this racist bastard talk.
No, we're not going to listen to this.
I want my super chats back.
We're not going to listen to this guy. I'm going to take him off the screen because I don't even know what's being said in this clip.
He was getting us
I'm
the
be
numbers.
Honest with you.
Him being there.
I think this is a silent one.
Yo, his whole hairline looks like if you did a perfect shit with like if you ate black licorice for 3 days.
For decades.
Oh man, they're giving me an ad.
With American
Sons of bitches
and taxpayer dollars.
Anyway, forget it. Forget it. I don't even want it.
There's no way you can stop it.
Americans pay more for medicine.
Yeah,
I'm going to smoke a cigarette for America. I'll be back in 5 minutes, but I'm switching over to my cell phone.
Yeah, you switch to your cell because I'm getting ready to close it out. I'm getting ready to close it out anyway.
Close it out.
The foreign freeloading.
I will say this: Genesis got a better haircut than all of us, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
at the end
definitely
of the
did
day,
it. She definitely did it. She
Speak
definitely did it.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
I mean, you know.
So I just wanted to make sure that I made the point of in this big beautiful bill, there's a lot of losers. A lot of people are losing.
Oh my God.
There is a clear winner, which is the upper class, which is what I was saying. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about political affiliations or nothing like that.
What is it, 1%? Them 1%? Yo, if I was a billionaire, I'd be like, yo, I got all these damn, how do you do the TARD again? A lot of them that I got them to vote for this shit.
Yeah. And so now
there's
we're
a clip
stuck with
from
it,
Donald Trump where he was like, yo, if you look at the economy, it's the Democrats that always get it right. And it shouldn't be, but they always get it right. And these
while we look at what's wrong now, we got to look at what we did along the way and why we got here.
I know who the fuck I voted for, Jack. I'm not subscribing to that shit. Ain't no we in that.
We did it as a nation.
For Massa.
As a goddamn nation, we did that. And the thing is that we didn't vote for this guy. We didn't vote for her. People stayed home.
I did vote for her.
Problem. No. I'm saying
I was being difficult.
This has been the least turnout in a vote ever. He got the popular vote in the Electoral College because the least amount of people stayed home because of what we're right now. Convince people that the person who was a 37-time felon and buried his wife in the backyard for tax purposes was a better president.
Yo, this chick had a damn law degree. She's like, what was she, like a senator or some shit?
And we as a community made videos.
She even had a white husband. Like, what more could she do? Cut her wrist? Like, it didn't matter. Like Trump, I've never seen a country full of people. Bro, I have never seen a country full of people so understanding about a motherfucker that got 6 bankruptcies. No, it's okay. Because anybody that's ever had a business always fails. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to look you, America, in the face right now. No. Let me look you, America, in the face right now and say this. And then, Bravo, you can let me talk. Hold on. I have 3 businesses now, and they've all been in the green, and I have not gone bankrupt. And I land my plane.
All right, I'm going to pick the plane up, and I'm going to say, we elected a person that has never had a successful business in his life. Period. Every business that his name was on has failed. Ever. All of them.
Do you have your receipts? Because I want to put that in the description.
Trump Steaks, Trump Water, Trump Tower, two casinos. 2 casinos. Gambling cities.
Atlantic City?
Yes.
No, because they keep saying that there's like 1,000 businesses he's had, and we can only name 6 that failed. But
it's 8. It's 8. It's 8 businesses he's failed.
So he's only had 8 businesses.
Yes.
Because I know that airline that he had went in the ground.
Right. When it failed and was underwater, he sold it. And so it didn't look like a loss, but he was underwater. He was losing money. Everything he does loses money.
Even that damn show, You're Fired, that shit don't come on no more.
No, because nobody likes him.
Well,
anyway,
I think
no replies telling the truth.
Yeah.
No replies telling the truth.
Did he smash Omarosa? I think that's what we all want to know.
No, he does not like the dark oval. He doesn't like he doesn't like the dark oval. Michael Clark.
So why was she there? DEI? Because he got rid of that shit too.
No, because she was down with the Green Mile.
Initially, Omarosa was like his number one. Like their first time around, Omarosa was cool with him, and then she got fired. But
yeah, but so were Democrats. Snake. Democrats was his number one as well.
Yeah, but then they didn't want to back him when he wanted to run for president, so he jumped.
But
parties.
He was never a Democrat. Think about the fucking Wilding Five, yo.
No, he was not a Democrat, but he did admit. Democrats always save the budget.
He voted with the city because he wanted to be popular. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah, but he rolled with Epstein for the same reason too, bro. He wanted to be popular.
No, he rolled with the only reason why he stopped hanging with Epstein is because they were trying to buy the same plane and Epstein got it before him. That's the only reason why he didn't fuck with Epstein.
No, but I'm saying if you look at the videos, like Epstein don't look like the dude that's trying to be cool with Trump. Trump's always standing behind Epstein like, hey, look, I got a couple of young girls over there.
That's my guy. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why he's always trying to be cool with Putin and Bibi and Bibi.
The people that don't talk back, he's always on a. Anyway, hey, Hayes, I gotta go, bro.
Yeah, I do as well. So let me give my last minute shout outs to everybody that jumped in. Oh, now they want to jump in the chat now. We got like 200 people in here now. They want to jump on the stream now. So for those that aren't subscribers, make sure y'all hit the like button so you can come back and catch our next live. If you're just getting
late,
in here.
motherfuckers, hit the watch back.
Yeah. You can catch the replay on the watch back. But like I said, I just want to give a couple of shout outs, especially to No Reply for stopping in the chat. I want to give a super special shout out for Sonny Bricks with the super duper chats and guest starring on the show. Yeah, man.
Let's get some
Y'all
money.
Y'all need to follow the Bricks example. Please do it.
Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is before you talk shit. You know what I'm saying?
Shouts to DeJuan Robinson that stopped in and said in about 5 to 10 years, Roblox are going to take all your jobs. So,
I feel you. I was laughing about that because I'm about to get on Roblox like right after this, and I'm like, well, I mean, maybe I should start studying.
They're not wrong.
You should. We've been telling folks you need to learn something, some talent, some AI, something. You're gonna have to build it up. Learn something. Like Bravo said, get a book, whatever. Learn something. Because this thing about the change.
I'm gonna tell everybody in the chat who doesn't know what their stance is. They just feel it in their bones. Come talk to me. I'll give you a job.
Yeah, there you go.
And the shouts to Wolf Raza, or is it Wolf V Raza? I don't know. The V is capitalized. Could be Wolf versus Raza. I don't know. Special shouts to you. Eric McCambly jumping in the chat. Ascending Phoenix was there earlier. And of course, a shout to my panelists, Genesis and Bravo, and of course the magical Sonny Bricks there as well.
Love you, bro.
Yeah, man. But we got to get out of here. We went late, but we had to discuss this shit. We had to get it out.
Salute,
now we're moving into another week. So for y'all that are just getting in here, you late asses, that, my friends, is the bullshit. We out of here.
Get some playback, bitch.
Yeah. Why you gotta say it like that? You crazy.